What does it sound like when 1,000 drones explode simultaneously? The night of November 5th, 2025, residents of occupied Donetsk found out as Ukrainian forces turned the former Donetsk International Airport into the largest fireworks display Russia never wanted to host. In a single devastating strike, Ukraine destroyed approximately 1,000 Shahed-type drones, over 1,500 warheads, ammunition depots, fuel storage, and the entire infrastructure Russia had built for launching suicide drone attacks against Ukrainian cities. Think about that number for a moment. 1,000 drones, not scattered across multiple locations, not gradually over weeks of operations. One facility, one night. One strike that eliminated more Russian attack drones than most countries possess in their entire inventory. The estimated damage, $75 to $100 million, depending on how you calculate the value of drones that will never terrorize Ukrainian civilians, warheads that will never explode over apartment buildings, and launch infrastructure that's now rubble. Commander Robert Madyar Brofty of Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces put it simply: the base for storing, equipping, and launching Shahed's Donetsk Airport no longer exists. Not damaged, not degraded, doesn't exist. Past tense, gone. And with it went Russia's largest Shahed drone hub in eastern Ukraine. The target when an airport becomes a drone factory. The former Donetsk International Airport carries enormous symbolic weight in this war. Before Russia invaded in 2014, it was a modern, European standard airport built for Ukraine's hosting of Euro 2012. Then it became ground zero for some of the most brutal fighting of the early war, with Ukrainian forces defending the ruins for months against overwhelming Russian attacks. The airport became known as the Donetsk Cyborgs, Ukrainian defenders who held out against impossible odds in the destroyed terminal. Russia eventually took the ruins, and then they converted it into something else entirely: a major logistics hub for Shahed drone operations. The location made strategic sense, positioned in occupied territory, far enough from the front lines to feel safe, with existing infrastructure that could be adapted for military purposes. Russia set up storage facilities for drones waiting to be deployed, assembly areas where technicians equipped them with warheads, fuel depots to power them, and pre-launch preparation facilities where drones received final targeting coordinates before being sent toward Ukrainian cities. At any given time, the facility reportedly housed hundreds or even 1,000 Shahed-type drones in various stages of preparation. These Iranian-designed kamikaze drones had become Russia's preferred weapon for terrorizing Ukrainian civilians. Cheap enough to use in large numbers, simple enough to operate in volume, and effective enough at causing damage and psychological fear when launched in swarms at cities. On the night of November 5th, all those carefully stored, meticulously prepared drones became the world's largest unintentional fireworks display. The Shahed, Russia's weapon of choice for urban terror. Before we talk about how satisfying it is to see 1,000 of these things destroyed, let's understand what they actually are. The Shahed 136, Russia calls them Gerin 2 to avoid admitting they're buying weapons from Iran, is a relatively simple attack drone. It's essentially a flying bomb. A small jet engine propels it toward GPS coordinates, and when it arrives, it explodes. Cost per drone: $20,000 to $50,000, depending on configuration and whose estimates you believe. That's incredibly cheap for a weapon that can fly hundreds of kilometers and deliver a warhead comparable to a cruise missile costing millions. Russia has been using these drones to launch mass attacks on Ukrainian cities, overwhelming air defenses through sheer numbers. Launch 50 Shaheds at once, and even if Ukrainian air defenses shoot down 45, the 5 that get through still hit power plants, apartment buildings, or critical infrastructure. The psychological impact is perhaps even worse than the physical damage. The Shahed's distinctive buzzing sound, like an angry lawnmower in the sky, has become associated with terror in Ukrainian cities. The sound means incoming death from above. It means running to shelters. It means praying your apartment building isn't the one that gets hit. It means another night of air raid sirens and explosions. Now imagine Ukraine eliminating 1,000 of these things in one strike. That's 1,000 nights when Ukrainian families won't hear that buzzing sound heading toward their homes. That's 1,000 warheads that won't explode over civilian areas. That's potentially thousands of lives saved by destroying these weapons before they could be used. The math is brutal but simple. At $20,000 to $50,000 per drone, Ukraine destroyed $20 to $50 million in drones alone. Add 1,500 plus warheads, ammunition, fuel, and infrastructure, and total damage reaches $75 to $100 million minimum. But the real value isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in Ukrainian lives that won't be lost to Shahed attacks that will never happen. How Ukraine pulled off this spectacular destruction. Destroying 1,000 drones stored in one facility requires precision, intelligence, and weapons capable of creating absolutely catastrophic secondary explosions. Let's break down how this operation likely unfolded, because the sophistication is remarkable. First, intelligence. Ukraine needed to know that Donetsk Airport had become a major Shahed hub. They needed to understand the facility layout, where drones were stored, where warheads were kept, where fuel was positioned. This level of detail requires multiple intelligence sources: satellite imagery, tracking Russian logistics movements, signals intelligence intercepting communications about drone operations, and potentially human sources reporting what they observed. Second, timing. Striking when the facility had maximum concentration of drones and equipment multiplies the impact exponentially. Was November 5th chosen because intelligence indicated a major shipment had recently arrived? Because the facility was preparing a large-scale drone assault on Ukrainian cities that needed to be preempted? Either way, the timing maximized destruction. Third, weapons selection. To create the kind of secondary explosions that destroy 1,000 drones and 1,500 warheads, you need weapons that can reliably hit ammunition and fuel storage. Ukrainian forces likely used a combination of long-range drones and possibly missiles, targeting multiple aim points nearly simultaneously to prevent defensive response and ensure overlapping destruction zones. And fourth, execution. According to Ukrainian Special Operations Forces, 90% of launched drones hit their targets. That's extraordinary accuracy for a complex strike on a defended facility. It suggests excellent pre-strike planning, precise targeting data, and weapon systems operating at peak performance. The result was a chain reaction of explosions that lasted hours. When you hit stored drones packed with explosives, and those explosions ignite nearby ammunition, which then cooks off fuel storage, you create a self-sustaining inferno that does more damage than the initial strike could achieve alone. Ukraine's weapons initiated the destruction. Russia's poor storage practices and the volatile nature of what they were storing did the rest. The immediate aftermath. When the smoke cleared, Ukrainian commander Robert Madyar-Brovdy's post-strike statement wasn't just military reporting. It was a declaration of strategic victory. The base for storing, equipping, and launching Shahed's Donetsk Airport no longer exists. Video evidence released by Ukrainian Special Operations Forces showed the scale of destruction. Massive secondary explosions continued for hours after the initial strike. Fires raged across the facility. Detonations sent debris and shrapnel across hundreds of meters. The footage looked less like a military strike and more like a Hollywood disaster movie. Except that this was real, and every explosion represented dozens of drones that would never terrorize Ukrainian civilians. The tactical impact is immediate and significant. Russia has lost its primary Shahed drone hub in eastern Ukraine. The 1,000 drones destroyed represented weeks or months of drone operations, attacks that won't happen, terror that won't be inflicted, infrastructure that won't be damaged. Ukrainian air defenses get a breather while Russia scrambles to reconstitute drone operations from other locations. The operational impact extends beyond just the destroyed equipment. Russia now must rebuild this capability from scratch, finding new storage locations, establishing new preparation facilities, moving drones from other storage sites while those sites become more crowded and vulnerable to Ukrainian strikes. Every adaptation Russia makes in response creates new vulnerabilities elsewhere. And the psychological impact? That hits hardest for Russian drone operators and logistics personnel. You thought your facility was safe in occupied territory, far from the front lines. You were wrong. 1,000 drones that took weeks to assemble, prepare, and store vanished in one night. If Donetsk Airport wasn't safe, where is? What comes next? The war on Russia's drone infrastructure. The Donetsk Airport strike isn't an isolated incident. It's part of Ukraine's systematic campaign to destroy Russia's drone warfare infrastructure. This strategy makes perfect strategic sense. Rather than just shooting down drones attacking cities, destroy them before they launch. Find where they're stored, where they're prepared, where they're launched, and obliterate those facilities. Russia faces a fundamental logistical problem. Shahed-type drones require storage, preparation, fueling, and launching infrastructure. That infrastructure is vulnerable to strikes when concentrated for efficiency, but inefficient when dispersed for survivability. Ukraine has forced Russia into a lose-lose dilemma where every choice comes with significant downsides. Expect more strikes like Donetsk Airport. Ukrainian intelligence is identifying other drone hubs. Ukrainian long-range strike capabilities continue improving, and every successful strike like this one validates the strategy and encourages continued targeting of similar facilities. Russia's response options are limited. They can import more drones from Iran, but those drones are useless if they get destroyed in storage before being launched. If this breakdown of Ukraine's devastating drone-based destruction opened your eyes to how modern warfare targets logistics, smash that like button and subscribe for more analysis of the strikes reshaping this conflict. Drop a comment. How many more drone hubs can Russia afford to lose before their Shahed campaign collapses completely? Let's discuss.